Hi there. I'm just going to jump on with you to get you all set up. How are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm wonderful. We're so excited to have you here.
Thank you.
Just by way of quick tee up, how are you feeling? We've got some tea or coffee. Where are we coming in from?
Coffee, 6 a.m. in Sydney.
Amazing. Well, rise and strike. Okay, well, I'm going to disappear and let you take it away. But just for everyone to know, we are such Canva fans over here at Ladies Who Launch. We have designed this entire summit. Every design you see possible has come from the Canva platform. So huge thanks. And we're just excited to turn this over to you and have us take us away with all of the branding design and just insights.
Thank you. Thanks so much.
All right, here we go.
Awesome. Hi, everyone. Thanks so much for having me at Ladies Who Launch today. I love it that everything for the launch has been designed in Canva. That's so amazing. I'm joining you from Sydney, and it's 6:15 in the morning. So excuse me if I stumble over my words a little bit. I'm not really a morning person, but here we go. So I'm going to just share my screen. Hopefully we can all see that. Yes, we can. And give me one moment while I also plug in so I don't lose any battery. Okay, we're good to go. All right, so hi everyone, welcome to Canva and designing your brand together. My name's Kat. I am the creative director of Brand Studio, which is was a small team and is now getting a bigger team within Canva itself. We have an internal branding agency, and I started at Canva 2 years ago, and I was like the only brand designer, and now I have a team of 25 amazing, talented designers helping us build Canva's brand from the inside out. The kind of cool thing when I started about Canva is they have this amazing product and an amazing culture as well. And I sort of started and I sort of spent a bit of time just absorbing everything and kind of wondered whether we even needed a brand because we had such like this amazing product and this amazing culture, and often that's the place we have to start with a company to build those things first. So we kind of got to a point where we wanted to start doing a lot more brand marketing in the world, and so we started to build Canva's brand as well. So if any of you haven't used Canva, it's a graphic design platform, obviously, and it's super easy to use. You can design anything, and the baseline product is free. I'm going to take you around Canva Pro today. Canva Pro is like our subscription product where you get a lot more features and stuff. I want to take you around that because it's a lot better for building a brand in. It works a bit like Spotify where you pay $12.95 a month and on a subscription basis, but we've got a really great offer which I'll share with you at the end of the presentation today as well. So aside from being a graphic design product, we are actually this kind of hugely fast growing company with a really big mission of empowering the entire world to design. So Melanie Perkins, our founder, she really believes that everyone should have the opportunity to be able to design anything for all their needs and to be able to make their world better through design, whether they're graphic designers or not graphic designers. So our big vision is that everyone around the world can achieve their goals through design. We have an amazing community, lots of female business owners, hustlers, teachers, mompreneurs, these beautiful young girls up in the top left. They actually run Canva courses in their local community. They just love it. And they've started their own little business doing stickers in Canva. But they, I guess the great thing about it is that it really puts the power in their hands for whatever business they're trying to build. I have worked recently with an amazing entrepreneur in America called Talaya Walla, and she said to me that what she loves about Canva is that she can get any idea that's in her head straight out onto the page, and there's kind of no sort of like the kind of the process or the slowing down of having to find a graphic designer and explain what's in your head, and it comes back not quite right and you don't get it there. So it's kind of like a fast way of expressing your ideas. And this is kind of our new tagline for Canva and our brand, Design for Everyone, very simple expression of our big mission. So in this session today, I wanted to just take you through a bit of theory on what a brand is, how to build your brand through purpose and personality, colors, fonts, and logos. This is actually all the purpose and personality stuff as a process I took Mel and the team through too when we started working on our brand principles. And we'll kind of do some little run-throughs of the product as well along the way. This is a little kind of style guide template that's set up in Canva. I'm sorry, I can't, or maybe I can like actually, I can't copy and paste in the session, but if you can write this little code down, it's just a Canva worksheet that has kind of a style guide set up in it. There's probably not enough time in today's session for you to be able to like be building your brand literally as I go, but you can take this away and it kind of gives you a nice guideline. We have a brand kit in Canva, which I'll take you through, but also getting a style guide together for all of your brand's assets is a great thing to share with new employees and stuff like that. Everyone's saying the sound is a bit muffled, and I'm not really sure how to fix that actually. Any ideas?
Do you have headphones by chance?
I do, yeah.
Yeah, let's maybe try if they're the connected ones. Let's see if that helps, because it is just a bit muffled. Good feedback, team. Can you hear me okay, or is my audio also muffled?
Actually, I only have the ones that are connect to a phone. Oh no, there's the right cord. You just detangle them.
Yeah, that's like the bane of my existence every time. Thanks, Kelly. All right. Yep. Let's see. Let's give Kat a chance to just untangle those. I mean, nothing like in a high pressure situation too, and you're just like, but we want to hear all of your amazing branding tips and tricks. So let's see. We'll give you.
I can try speaking up too. Will it help if I'm
your volume seems okay. I think it's just sometimes that computer microphone isn't what we want it to be.
Yeah, that doesn't actually work.
They didn't expect us to be on all these virtual calls all the time.
Let me think of something else, because that one's the wrong little button to go into.
Of course. Yep, we can all check out the link.
So nice.
Like 10,000 spoons when all you need is a knife. I'll just sing for you guys.
I'll give you a video. If I play any videos, will the audio be muffled in the videos?
Depends. Are you playing via a YouTube link or via a?
Just via what's connected in Canva, so it probably will be muffled. Hey, let's try my video and see how this sounds for everyone. Okay. While I'm getting my. You can have the same thing too. Let it just take over Cool. I will speak slower and louder, and I'll also try, I've got this plug-in headphone now, so let's try this as well. Testing with the plug-in headphones. Does that sound better or no better?
I think it's a bit better. Great. Okay, we're getting some positive feedback here.
All right, awesome. And I'll also speak slower because I do have a Kiwi accent as well. So thanks for the reminder about that. So if we get into it, what is a brand? I guess when you hear the word, it's sort of like, what do you think about? For me, I think about the colors of Google or the script of Disney, the bite out of the apple. They're all brands that we know and love, but I guess a brand is also so much more than a logo. So I'm going to come across to another video, which I'll unplug for. We'll see how we go.
I think you muted. Still muted. Nope. For some reason, it's still showing you as muted, and I can't unmute your mic for you. You know, we were doing so good on technical difficulties, guys, but we know 2020, we weren't going to make it out alive without one problem. The only thing I can recommend is maybe perhaps clicking leave and then rejoin just to kind of reset the audio and visual there. Okay.
Okay, can you hear me
There
now?
you're back. Hooray. I think when you play videos via the via your screen, it's getting tripped. It's not going to come through as clearly. There is a YouTube video that will play very clearly if you click that YouTube link. Otherwise, I would probably not be going through the videos unless it's that YouTube link.
Yeah, I'll just skip the videos and I can.
And then we'll put them in the the recap for everybody after. There we go.
Totally. All right, let's go. So a brand is a promise to your customers. It's more than a logo. It has a lot of associations and experiences that your customers have when they think of you. So it's a logo, but it's also your personality and your colors and your tone of voice and your type, and just the kind of, I guess, the affinity people have with your brand. So if we start with purpose, successful brands are very clear what they stand for and how they organize their entire team and business around it. So your purpose is your reason for getting out of bed in the morning, and it's the impact that you want to have on the world. So Apple exists to challenge the status quo, to think differently. Tesla exists to accelerate the transition to sustainable energy, and Canva obviously exists to empower the whole world to design. Skipping old Simon Sinek, I'm sure you've all seen his why, how, what little video, but that just kind of is a nice explanation of how you get to your why in relation to your purpose. So when we then talk about personality, I guess the good thing about defining a personality for your brand is if you're everything to everyone, you don't really please anyone. But if you can kind of really get your brand really focused about what the personality stands for, then you'll find like a particular tribe that really can connect with your brand. So I think about brands a little bit like David Bowie here. So David was born a certain way with a certain personality type, values that are are very inherent to him, and they're things that don't change over time. Like all of us, we kind of have very kind of innate values and personality traits that are with us from the get-go. But then we have the way he evolved over time. So as he went through his very long career as a musician, he really kind of set trends and created the zeitgeist and wore all these different amazing outfits. And so if you think about a brand, what you want is to kind of really define your core personality, and that wouldn't change over time. But as things evolve over time, say we move from printed things to voice-only things, you still want your personality to come through no matter which way it's expressed. So I guess, yeah, like if we can get to a place where you have a really strong personality, and you kind of give it almost like human-like characteristics, you can think about the way you connect with your best friend and what makes you love them. They might be cheeky, or they might be serious, or they might be very practical, but we tend to be drawn as humans to people that are like us and brands that are like us too. So this is the brand archetypes were kind of something I started with Canva's brand. So Carl Jung was a famous philosopher from a long time ago, but he spent decades researching these archetypes. They were actually created for humans, but then I guess picked up by brain strategists. But they represent the 12 primitive desires and unique personality types of humans. So we have, like, me personally, I kind of like come into the exploring spirituality at the center, and then I love kind of like my freedom and exploration and that type of thing. So that's kind of like a space that I exist in, but everyone has something different on here that they're more drawn to. So we went through this little exercise when we were starting, and we kind of figured out our personality type pretty easy, actually. Creator kind of fit with us very well. Nike is in the hero archetype, and Patagonia is in the explorer archetype. But kind of doing this helps to kind of get you focused in on what your personality traits are. We also have in that style guide that I've linked, this is kind of a nice little workshop to do. You can do this with other people in your business, where you kind of all move the little green dots along the scale to figure out kind of where you sit in terms of your personality traits. And then you can kind of like match this up against when you get into actually design work. Does this feel playful or serious or youthful or mature? It helps you figure out like what typefaces you want to choose and that kind of thing. So we spent, after a bit of workshopping, we got to these core brand pillars for Canva's brand. They actually they are sort of our North Star now with all of the branding work that we do. So being human is a very, very important one for us, and in particular Melanie, because I guess when you're a product and you're a tech company, it can be kind of easy to lose that humanity. And our community is like the most important thing that we have. So always making sure that we come across as humanly as possible in the brand is really important. Obviously, inspiring everyone who may not be a designer to get on the tools and design is important, and empowering in terms of like being really, really simple and accessible, whether you're an 8-year-old or an 80-year-old, you kind of get what's going on and understand the language and everything that happens with the brand. So there's also a little thing in the style guide if you wanted to do a little we are exercise. And now we come to designing your logo. So a logo is made up of 2 parts. We've got the symbol and the word mark, which is the text. eBay's logo is a word mark. Apple's logo is a symbol. And then with FedEx, it's sort of a mixture of both. So if you look at the FedEx logo, there's a little arrow just hidden in between the E and the X to symbolize their kind of like, the speed of their service and that kind of thing, which is a kind of little trick in there. And I guess the thing about creating a logo is that you really, really want to figure out your story and find the simplest possible way to tell it. You don't want to do everything in your logo because you've got your whole rest of your brand to be really, really expressive. You want your logo to be like the most simple kind of boiled down version of your story. So this is the story of Nike's logo. So in Greek mythology, Nike is a winged goddess of victory. And so the famous Nike logo is a simplified wing. It represents speed and motion. The word swoosh is the sound you hear when Michael Jordan speeds towards a slam dunk. So I've just put in a little demo here of working in Canva. So you can choose to create a logo template in Canva. Find one that kind of feels like it's right for you. The thing with Canva is that they, I guess you want to start with the logo, but then you want to modify it, because if you use the exact logo that is in the template, it's not trademarkable. So you want to kind of get it to a point and play around with it until you get it to a point that it's very, very uniquely yours, so you can actually trademark the logo as well. So here I'm just grabbing a little metal-shaped element, and I'm starting a brand called Leafy, which is a brand that delivers pot plants to your house. Because we all spend so much time in our houses now. We want lots of beautiful plants to make us happy. So you can kind of like choose your typeface and then choose your brand colors. And as I said earlier, we're working in Canva Pro with this one. So you'll see you can use a lot more elements, all of the Pro icons and elements and illustrations as well, without having to pay for them on top. And your brand kit and your colors and everything are all connected in there as well. So here's our little logo. Now, the little tip for logo when you're exporting it, because you know how you want your transparent background behind your logo, just delete the background so it's white. And then when you go to download, you download as a PNG and you set to transparent background, and then make the size like really big so that you've got a really kind of nice, juicy, kind of high quality logo. And then you can download that, and that'll come into your downloads, and then you can re-upload it into your brand kit, or you can use it anywhere else that you like. So here's brand kit. So on your homepage of your Canva Pro account, you've got your brand kit in the left-hand menu, and it's really easy to just click the plus button and then upload your logos to your brand kit folder. And we'll see where they live inside the editor a bit later on as well. So in your style guide, you could add your little logo to your page as well, now that you've got it. So finding the right font. I'm going to skip past the video because I know they're not working. So we're finding the font, I guess, now that you've done the exploration around your personality traits, it's actually quite helpful for when you're looking for a font, because obviously like there's so many fonts to choose from. So how do you choose the right one for your brand? And if you've established that your brand is a very playful brand, then when you're looking for a font, you can kind of look for a font with playful traits to it. So you can find fonts that really complement your brand's personality. These are all the actual typeface names of the fonts that these different brands use. So Nike uses Futura, which has that like slight angle to it, very bold, so it feels like it's kind of that same very kind of strong hero brand moving forward in action. And then you have other brands that might kind of like use a quite neutral font just to help kind of like create like a neutral thing against more expressive things that happen in the brand. Someone's asking if you can export vector logos with Canva. You can now export vector with Canva. It's a very kind of new feature actually to it. And in terms of like what I often do is if there's something that I really need to kind of change, because obviously you can't do vector drawing like you can in Illustrator, in Canva. What you can do is you can create a thing that you want in Illustrator. If you export it as an SVG file and bring it into Canva, you can actually change the colors and stuff of your object that you've created inside Canva. There's like little ways around it as well. With the kind of like some basic type theory here, we have serif fonts and we have sans serif fonts. So serif fonts are like the original typeface. The reason they are called a serif is they've got these little serifs marked in red here, which kind of sit on the edges of the letter. Serifs were originally put on letters in newspaper print so that it helps to guide your eye along long lines of text. So it's kind of more traditionally a sort of classic font. And then when we started to get into the digital world, those little serifs got a bit pixelated on like original screens. They dropped off the serifs so that you have like a lot kind of cleaner font to use in the modern digital world. And sans is obviously French for without, which is without serifs. There's sort of three categories of fonts. You've got the sans serifs, and then the display fonts. Display fonts they can get pretty crazy, and they're really great to add personality to your brand, but you just want to use them in small doses, not for like big paragraphs or anything like that, because they're a bit difficult to read. When you're looking at fonts for your brand, you kind of want to stick with one font family or maybe two fonts max. And then you can kind of assign specific roles to those fonts. So often you might have like a font that you use for your word mark in your logo. And for like consistency across your brand, you can continue that font throughout your brand typography as well. But perhaps like in this example, you can see that the headlines are in Bebas Neue. But that would be a little bit hard to read as like a paragraph font because it's a bit too kind of condensed and big. So there's a secondary font here for your body copy that's super easy to read when it's really small. So this particular brand is using two different typefaces. In Canva, when you go into the font menu, you'll see that some fonts only have like one style to them, and other fonts kind of live as a little family. These are some examples of little families of fonts we have in Canva. It's often really good to stick with one family, and then you kind of have a consistent typeface, but you can use it in a more versatile range of ways, because you can use it for thin, for maybe paragraphs, and like really heavy for headlines and things like that, but it all comes from the same place. So here's an example of using fonts in Canva. So as you can see, we've got a display typeface to start with, which is a little bit hard to read. So I guess as you're starting your brand as well, like I just love to kind of play around for a while, think about the traits, the personality traits of your brand as you're doing it, and just kind of get a feeling for how different fonts kind of look and feel to you when you have a look at them. You can kind of make multiple pages and try out different ones and compare and contrast. Or if you know exactly the typeface that you're looking for, you can type that into the top as well. Cool new feature. Everybody has been asking for curved text in Canva for a very long time, and it finally released last week. So it's really easy. You just push effects, and then you can kind of set the curve to anything you like. So then once you've figured out your brand's typeface, you can jump back into your brand kit. You can search for it if it's a Canva font, and then you can kind of update your headlines and your subheadlines and your body copy to the fonts that you've decided upon. You can also upload, you see there's like a little button right down the bottom there. You can upload your own font. So if you've got a licensed brand font that you currently use, you can upload that into your Canva account and use it within Canva as well. Someone's saying, can we use Canva to design t-shirts that we will sell? Yes, you can. You can design and order as many t-shirts as you like in Canva, and yes, create, I would probably say the same thing, is just like take a template that you love in Canva and start designing your t-shirt with it, but always just customize it a bit, maybe more so that so you don't end up with the same t-shirt designs as other people out there. Like, it's always like change up the colors and have a play around and explore the elements tab and see what else you want to do to make your t-shirt look really good. But I have a few Canva t-shirts. I like wearing them. So we move on to the color part of the brand, which is always the fun part. I have this like little quiz, but I don't know how to do it with you all because it's not a live audience. But basically, I kind of love this because it kind of shows how important color is for a brand. So Google, yay! And the next one, this one's a bit harder, but it's easier for American audiences, I think. Yeah, FedEx. And the last one I have. Yes, it's Instagram. So you can kind of see how important color association is to a brand, that you can literally know a brand by its color that way. When you look at color theory, there are all sorts of kind of feelings or associations that we all have with different colors. I find it really interesting actually that most fast food brands are like red or yellow, or a combination of red and yellow. And apparently red triggers sort of, it's kind of stimulates you, and so it stimulates your appetite, and it kind of attracts attention as well. So it's that kind of fast food perfect combination of making you feel hungry and making it feel like a really urgent thing that you need right now. So you can kind of choose a color that really suits your brand. This is also something that is a really worthwhile activity when you're starting out your brand. So if you get a color wheel, you can do a bit of a competitor analysis, and you can map out all of your competitors' brand around the color wheel, and it's just interesting because obviously like so many bank brands are blue, because blue is this color of like security and dependability, and so if you were to create a brand for a bank that you wanted it to be more of a challenger brand, like you might not sit in the blue with where everyone else is, you might kind of go to pink or like something on the opposite end of the spectrum, or find a space that your brand can own that other people don't already own. We actually have this quite cool little tool, which isn't directly in the Canva editor. It's on this kind of like URL, canva.com's colors. It has a color wheel, so you can play around with colors. You can choose complementary colors or analogous colors. And we also have this page about color meanings and associations. So you can jump in, and it tells you all about what purple is and how it kind of associates with you, that kind of thing. You can also click on any of the colors in these kind of tabs, and it'll automatically copy the hex code of that color. And so you can paste that hex code into Canva if that's a particular color that you love. So when you're in Brand Kit as well, and you've sorted out all your colors for your brand, it's easy to add them. You just click on the plus button and then paste in the hex code of that color. You can also explore for inspiration in this particular bit. So if you're looking for a certain color, you can add it in here. You can add a second palette, so you might have like a hero brand palette and then a secondary brand palette for your brand. So what I'm going to do here is just take the purples, which are actually my secondary palette, and move them down. So I just copy and paste the hex code, add them to the second palette, and then delete them from the top one, just putting the little cross in the corner. And that's it. And then what happens is when you're actually creating some of your brand assets, like this poster here, you'll see that when you click on things and you open the brand kit, your brand colors are actually sitting up the top there, really accessible to you. So you've got like, I just play that again. You've got, oh, it doesn't want to play again. Okay. Yeah, you see you've got like your brand colors and your secondary palette like sitting right at the top there, so that just makes it super easy to access all your brand assets when you're designing within the editor. And if you want to add your colors to the style guide, you can do it there. You just pop in your colors and then add an FX code so that anyone in your company can jump in and refer to this if they need to. Before I move on to the next section, I might just ask this question. Can I export designs that I create in Canva, free version and or paid version, into POD platforms like Teespring to sell with my other products? Yes, you can. You can. You can. There are people who actually create their own Canva templates and sell Canva templates as well. So they create kind of their own kind of designs and set up their own marketplace for their designs to go live. Part of our, so yeah, as far as I know, you can. So if we are looking at imagery, when we're looking at a product, your brand can have either illustration or it can have photography. The illustration on the left here is the Headspace brand, and the photography on the right here is a really lovely magazine called Serial. And you can kind of see when you look at these that they kind of have very clear, like the illustration works with a certain style and color palette, and then the photography over here has a beautiful kind of tone to it. You can use illustration and photography in your brand. When you come into Canva, we've got photography and we've got elements, so there's lots of stuff to explore and play with. So for my indoor plant brand, I'm adding some plants here just to see what I kind of like. You can kind of make new pages and test out different photography within your designs just to see what feels like the right fit for your brand. You'll notice that when you click on something you really like, you actually get a tab come up which says Magic Recommendations now. So it kind of recommends kind of other photography for you that might be within the similar vein. So you can actually start to build a bit of a library with that, the style that you're looking for. You can add elements to your brand as well. My particular brand is all about organic shapes. So I can look for organic shapes and go to Magic Recommendations and see what else there is to play with. And I can change the color to one of my brand colors as well. And the background ones, we can change that into our secondary palette. For my little Instagram story that I'm making here. And then the one thing that's missing is our logo. So we added our logo to our brand palette before, and so now we can kind of find it. So the logo lives in the folders tab. So you've got a folder, one which is all of your designs, which kind of comes up with all the designs that you've ever used in Canva. But there's also a shared with you folder, and so everyone on your team would have access to this folder, which has your logos in it. So you can add your beautiful logo to your design. And then once your design's ready, we actually, a really good thing to do is to share your design with other people on your team. So you can just share simply by pushing the share button and adding their email And then what they'll do, they'll get an email notification, and that'll invite them into this design. You can add comments on the design, and you actually now can have 2 people designing at the same time, which is really fun. Sometimes I jump in to a document in Canva, and we're all kind of working on it together, which is really good. In terms of the question, any branding trends or designs you recommend we avoid? I think in terms of branding trends and designs, like maybe just, right, for me, it's sort of about actually avoiding trends in general. So it's really important to kind of understand what's out there in the world and what your competitors are doing, and really kind of have that clear understanding of what's going on. But I guess part of that process of like really understanding who your brand is and what your brand's kind of really getting to the core of what it is you want to communicate. Hopefully you can kind of start to create stuff that feels just uniquely yours and feels right for you. And then in terms of just, I guess, design that you want to avoid, I think it's, for me, like a really important part of branding and design process is simplicity, because if you think about all of the people that you could possibly communicate to with your brand, a good example is probably just Canva itself, and we communicate to people who are like 13-year-old school kids and people who are like 80-year-olds and everything in between. And so having something that's super, super simple and not too over designed, I think can really help you kind of communicate to a broader audience. Another question we had is, if we own an image, will it keep its copyright, especially if we post it on Instagram? That's a good question, which I don't know the answer to because I'm not technical enough, but I can find out for you, actually. I only have a few minutes to kind of finish up here, but I wanted to show you a couple more things. And one of them is just like this really cool animate tool. So you can finish your design and then you can look at the animate feature. And so when you download your design, you just want to download it either as a video or as an MP4. You can also post straight to Facebook from Canva as well if you've linked up your account. But there we can kind of download our design there, and then when we post it on Instagram, it's got its little animated kind of cool thing going on. So you can add all your imagery to your style guide as well. And I guess I just wanted to wrap up by saying that I think once you have established your core brand assets, they're kind of always the beginning, and it's never set and forget. There are so many ways to express your brand personality through every kind of output that you have. And I guess you want to always kind of be kind of flexible enough with your brand that you keep some of those core assets solid, but you can kind of evolve it with the times, just like David Bowie has. In terms of resources as well, turning down my volume so you don't see that. We have this offer going on at the moment with Canva, which is if you have a team, if you're a small business, you can get the Canva Pro account for $12.95, and then you can invite 4 people for free. So they will get Canva Pro accounts too for free. So it's like 5 for the price of 1 Canva Pro accounts, which is a very good offer. So you can just go to canva.com/offer for that. Some other resources is business resources. So this is just a page jam-packed full of great stuff for small businesses. So there's like small business template toolkits. There is like different kind of videos and resources and community stuff you can look at as well. And then this is, if you go to design school, you'll find a course called Branding Your Business, which I've kind of given you a very truncated version of that course today, but it's a 12-part series, which would take you about 15 minutes to watch, and you can go into a lot more detail, and all the videos I couldn't show you today are in that course. as well. So you can kind of watch those too. And that is it for me. That was bang on time. I hope you all enjoyed it. Someone asked if there's any courses only with Canva Pro. In design school there's like a bunch of, there's a whole Canva Pro section in there, so you can watch all the bits on that as well. It was really nice to meet you all online. And I hope you enjoy the rest of the summit, and good luck with all your entrepreneurial pursuits. Thank you. I'll go back to bed now. I'll go back to the promo page so that you've got it. Let me just get that for you. Traditional investors. Toolkit. Yeah.